this video is going to be covered in spoilers, okay? Like, I wanted to make a video without spoilers, but I don't think I can do it. So this video is loaded in spoilers. If you want to try skipping those and, like, avoiding them in this video, like, good luck. There's just landmines sitting everywhere, you know? Good luck. Okay, Zelda. I have played so many hours of Breath of the Wild at this point. My hype for Tears of the Kingdom has just reached like an astronomical level. When I went into this game, I'd beaten Breath of the Wild maybe 2 or 3 times through, and one of them was on hard mode, and I did it all, and I slaved through it. I loved that game. Loved it so much. Tears of the Kingdom is like Breath of the Wild, so I love it just the same. I think as a Breath of the Wild fan, it has ticked all the boxes that I would have wanted in a sequel. Tears of the Kingdom is the sequel to Breath of the Wild, and it feels that way. It feels like a continuation. It's good shit, you know? It's one of my favorite games. Every Zelda game seems to create a new universe and a new style of gameplay and change everything every time. Breath of the Wild was much in the same. Like, it's brand new. It's a new world. It's a new mechanic. You can run around anywhere. It's amazing. The world is your oyster. You can explore. You can see new things. You can do everything. Tears of the Kingdom is the exact same. And they've done new things where you can do even more incredible things. I'm going to start with the sky. When you start out in the sky, it's incredible because they put limitations on you. You don't have your glider. You can't just glide wherever you want, place to place. You're stuck and trapped on this little sky island. And when you're first on that sky island, you look out and you see all of Hyrule. You see all of the other floating islands you can go to. The game just feels so big. Like, so big. It brought back that feeling that I had in Breath of the Wild when you first step out and you're like, oh man, I can go anywhere. I'm gonna go there. That's the place I'm gonna go to. I'm going there, man. Which is cool. That's exactly what I wanted. I don't know. Yeah, and then everything's bizarre and different. You're in, like, you don't know what point in time you're at. And it's just new. It's a cool new feeling while also feeling the exact same because, again, the mechanics haven't changed drastically yet. That changes upon getting all those cool powers, but for now, let's just talk about that. The sky is probably the best it's ever been. I think Skyward Sword was cool. They tried. They tried with that sky. It didn't work. This is what I always imagined Skyward Sword was like when I was hearing friends talk about it. Just being way up high and being able to go anywhere and jump out of the sky and stuff. They did it. It's here. It's a little late, but it's here. I don't know, and the sky is beautiful. I think my complaint with the sky specifically is that it feels like there should be more, I guess. Like, that first island is exactly what I was hoping for. It's just so many different biomes in one little spot, or so much to see. You can kind of go everywhere in this one little island and see so many different things. But the other islands in the sky, there's not a lot going on there. There's, like, these big cube monster things. The fight's always the same. You always fight this guy the same way. He's like a big monster dude. Boom, boom, boom. And then he turns into a big flat thing in the sky, and then you do different things to climb on top of him or kill him. Anyways, whenever you beat this guy, it's always the same too, because you get these little maps that take you to this other place I'll talk about later, to get you the same reward every single time. And there's usually one reward on these little islands that are interspersed throughout the map, which again is cool. You can go up there and see things. I'm not complaining about that. I just kind of wish there was more. If they add DLC, I hope that they add more sky, more things in the sky. I guess less empty space in the sky. I want more Sky Island, And I want bigger islands. I want to run around and do all that crazy shit. I think there's like the starter island, which is cool. There's a temple up there, which is cool. And then they have this other island that's like perpetually covered in like hurricane, which is also very cool. I just want more of that. That was awesome. And those moments where I was venturing on these huge landscapes and then looking down when I got to the edge and I'm like, oh shit, that's far down, bro. Hello, can you see me? You know, like, it's incredible. Now I'm gonna hop over to the mechanics and the powers, because you get those in the sky. The ascend ability, super cool. I thought it was gonna be more useful. It really isn't, because I guess I assumed that when you could go up into anything, I just assumed it was everything. Like, I saw like a vertical incline, I'm like, yup, going up, and no, can't do that, bro. Not allowed. We don't do that here. You have to kind of get to these perfect little ledges that are flat at the bottom and then flat at the top. So it's not always useful, but when it is useful, it's appreciated and it's cool. So you can just rocket up to the top of a mountain or the top of a structure, or yeah, that one's cool. The hand thing, I feel like I'm using that all the time. You just stick things together and do cool things, build stuff. Sponsored by Gatorade. Yeah, I don't know, the hand thing, you've probably seen like a million videos of the hand stuff. I don't really want to talk about it much here. I'm not a super creative building game kind of guy. I like going around and scavenging and fighting for my life, so a lot of my gameplay might not show that, and I try my best to avoid it, because the only times I really found it fun was to build things that just rocketed me around places. And once I figured out one design for that, I don't really have a lot of use for the other ones, you know? Like, I'm not big into boats. I'm not a big boat guy. When I needed to make it, I'm glad it was there, but, like, you know, kind of just wish there was a boat pre-built for me. They have the pre-build tool. That's cool. It's pretty neat. Kind of painful with how many, like, little resources it uses. Those resources are pretty annoying. The rewind time ability seems like it should be more broken. Maybe I haven't discovered all the uses for it yet. I'm not exactly sure. I was noticing there's these like blocks that fall out of the sky and they crash and land randomly. Sometimes they hit things. It's kind of entertaining. But I would notice that you could use the rewind ability on those and rocket back into the sky. And that's where I found that most useful, just getting to go back into the sky and shoot up and get new heights, I guess. This game is a big hype beast, you know? Like, they really like going uppies. The fusion ability? It's cool. It gave new uses to all the weaponry, and I felt like no weapon or shield really ever felt the same. There were always just new combinations and new uses, and the enemies using them was cool too. What a fascinating mechanic. I love it. It's been annoying with like arrows. I wish you could just fuse like a whole bunch at once. Like, you just do a bundle of arrows. Like, maybe I want 100 electric arrows or 100 bomb arrows. It'd be nice to like just mass fuse them instead of always having to go back and click and make a new one. I found I was only really using that when I really had to create an arrow that did the function. There's like 1,000 cop cars going off right now. It's crazy. Okay, yeah, mechanics are cool. I like them. It's kind of weird when I'm talking about this. It's distorting my memory of Breath of the Wild, and the reason I'm saying that is because I'm about to talk about Hyrule now. Link, here come to town. And Hyrule is one of the weirder parts of this game, because everything they added to this world and the previous game is very much appreciated. It's great. I love being able to do all this cool and see all these cool things, and you be a crazy little dude running around hitting things with my sword. That's awesome, you know? But they didn't change much on the surface. There's very few things that have changed all around. So I had this kind of weird samey feeling, like I was doing something I've already done before. And as somebody that's played so many hundreds of hours in Breath of the Wild 1, it felt like I was just kind of like roaming around in like a corpse landscape, like a thing that's already dead, and I'm just beating it like a dead horse and kicking the shit out of it. Yeah, it felt weird. Seeing some of the familiar faces was cool, but it just felt kind of hollow, I guess. Like, I'm in these places I recognize already, and a lot of the gear and stuff I'm getting is the same that I got before. So a lot of my time spent in Hyrule, the place that the game's typically built around, I found kind of boring. Make my ADHD go crazy, you know? Like, I want to go do stuff, soar up into the sky. You're giving me all this crazy shit, and then I'm just running around Hyrule like I've done 100 times already, you know? It's a little boring. And also the rewards you get for doing all these helpful things for people, they used to be, in my memory, more amazing. Like, you get like this huge pass down for doing this cool thing or this intensive labor thing. But now a lot of the times a person will give you a reward that either I've seen before and I'm like, well, thanks, I'll just add it to the pile, or they give you effing rupees. And there's so many times where I like do this really difficult thing, and okay, like there's a lot of times I didn't do it, but I always get a bunch of rupees handed to me, and I'm like, you know, it's kind of like receiving cash on like a birthday. Like, yeah, it's nicer when you get like a little present or something. I don't know. First world problems, man. Don't know about those. I'd like to see more done with Hyrule. Again, like I said, with the Sky DLC would be appreciated, where they just added more to it. It feels so empty in a lot of places. I just like more villagers or more quests or more things. I just feel like it feels so empty right now, and I don't know if that's because I've already experienced all this stuff and I know what's coming around the corner, or maybe I don't appreciate this game as much as I should. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know. Like, seeing more with the Zoras or the Gorons would be cool. I felt like there was a lot of bird content with the Ritos, and also like a lot of Gerudo content. But when I got to the Zora and the Goron, there wasn't as much as I would have liked. And a lot of the content I did there felt like a lot of the same stuff. Like, I hit a lot of the same places or was sent a lot of the same places. So it felt like I had done it before in like a kind of tedious sense. I want more fucking roly-poly-oly big dudes that eat rocks, okay? Just want more of it. Just give me more. God, the fairies are as beautiful as they've ever been. Can't complain about those. Those are tops. The best. Can't be beat. I'm going to talk about the next place. They have these huge holes in the ground. Because not only did they send land up, but they also sent land down. And man, that underground place, the depth, the underground, the chasm, I don't know what they call it. That place is amazing. I spent most of the beginning of my game there. There was a big hole, and somebody said, man, I can't even see the bottom of it, and I just jumped. I didn't have the paraglider, so you can imagine how that went. It was just like complete darkness all the way down, and then just Link hit the ground, and I'm guessing you can put 2 and 2 together, but you know, we were suddenly back at the top again. I wonder how that happened. I don't know. Thank God I did. But when I was able to go down there, it's a cool experience. It's so intimidating. And that was one of the more interesting parts for me. I thought the sky would have been cool, but honestly, underground in the darkness, fighting off monsters that whenever they hit you, they take away part of your health bar forever till you get back up. It was so threatening and interesting. I spent so much time in there. And on top of that, you just roam around, you get rewarded with cool like cosmetic items. I get to look like, you know, different links or whatever. That's super cool. Not to mention, when you find these locations, there's these like routes, underground routes, and when you light them up, you have a fast travel spot, but you also light up the area. You can see more now. And honestly, I found that whole area just so interesting and so fun. Again, I'm gonna say it. I want more of it. Give me more. I just want more. God. Yeah, I just really like that space. Just go get Zelda. Don't ignore all of Hyrule if you already played Breath of the Wild. You don't need to do it. It's fine. Go underground. Jump right out of the sky, through the ground, and into the earth. You're there for a good time. I don't know. It's challenging. It's interesting. I think later in the game it becomes significantly less threatening in an uninteresting way. When you have so many hearts later on, it's not as engaging because losing those hearts isn't as meaningful. When you have 20 hearts and you lose like 2 from fighting a couple enemies, like it's not a big deal. I got 18 still, you fuck. But when you have like 3 and you lose 2 of those hearts, you're down to 1 heart, man. You get hit one more time, you're screwed. And not to mention you haven't gone to the light route yet. Are you kidding me? We're only like halfway there. We have 1 heart to get there. It's interesting. It's complicated and it's challenging in a way that I didn't feel that throughout the rest of the game. The rest of the game, I kind of felt like I was sticking random together, building a sign for some random fucking idiot that's holding it up and not building it up for some reason. The story is pretty cool. I think Zelda's plot was really fascinating this time around. I think the Zelda we have in this game is the most gripping Zelda we have in all of the games. I felt very related to her. I felt empathetic to her and her story. And what happens in the end, even though a lot of the plot was predictable, it still it hurt me, like I felt emotions. I think I may have cried. I gotta check my DMs. If I did, embarrassed but not really. If you play it and you cry, you play it and tear up, you little baby bitch. Ganondorf, pretty threatening. I'd say my favorite Ganondorf of all time is probably Ocarina of Time. He felt so intimidating at the very beginning where he kind of shows up and he's kind of this ominous figure that's threatening too. And I'd say this one kind of like lived up to that. He felt so like present. A lot of the atrocity felt like it was his doing this time around. And when he is around, he's like a big hulking scary dude that has just infinite power, and he has these little minions that kind of float around and cause mayhem too, that like they just pop out and they like you up, and that's cool. So Ganondorf's probably like up there with the Ocarina of Time Ganondorf. He's threatening and scary, and he brings out a lot of the interesting bits of the story that I really liked. I will say that hearing the story of the origin story for the 6th time is kind of annoying. Like I don't need to hear that 6 times over, but it's cool. You tell your story, bro. I'm glad you finally getting it down. You guys are all telling it different ways, but only kind of. So like I'm glad when I got it all together. I have the real story here. I have it all pictured. In closing, Tears of the Kingdom, good time. I like it. I think that with DLC, if they add it, I hope they just add more shit everywhere. I want to see more things. I want to hit more things with my sword. I still have 1,000 things to do. Like I haven't found all the little like temple things. I forget what you call those things. Shrines? I haven't found all the shrines. That has not happened. I think one day I will do that very slowly. I'm kind of bored. I'm in Hyrule right now in my current gameplay, and I don't really want to walk around anymore. I'm kind of bored of that. But when I get more into the mood again, where I'm like ready to play more Zelda, I'll go walk around and find some shrines. Okay, I'll go fuck around and find some shrines. Whatever, dude. You got it. I have to explore more of the underground for sure. I feel like I'm missing a couple costume parts, which I think is probably it's something I want to do. Yeah, I had a good time. I hope that with a new Zelda, they change up the whole game again. I want to see like a big revolution again, or a new world. I think I could really use that. But for now, I'll just take DLC. Just give me more sky, more things in the sky. Give me more things to do underground. I like that place. It's cool. It's dark, but I got a little light and it's cool. I hope I put a little light in your life. I don't know. Go play the game. What are you listening to me talk about it for? What are you doing? I don't understand why you're doing that. Just go play the game. I like Zelda. I've waited so long for this game to come out. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like counting down. I had one of those countdowns going, and I was just, 5 more days. We can do this. I can remember what it was like 200 days till this game comes out, and I was like, I don't know why I'm looking at this calendar, man. It's a lot of counting I gotta do that I don't want to do. I don't want to think about 200 days till Zelda. But it's here. We made it, okay? It's out. Just go play it now, okay? You're not gonna waste your time. This is a good time, okay? I'm just counting down the days till Starfield. One day. Okay, bye.